Usually, you're meant to actually ride roller coasters. Sit down in your seat and go through their various elements, being whipped around out of your seat and being pushed back into your seat. And before all of that, sitting back and relaxing whilst you go up that very tall lift hill at the start. Which, sure, the height of the lift hill might scare some people, but you're strapped into a very safe coaster train. It's all good. But what if you're not strapped into that train and instead have climbed up that entire lift hill by yourself with no train to help, and you've ascended it by foot? Well, today I visited Drayton Manor Resort here in the UK and climbed the 120-foot tall lift hill of the Wave, their iconic sit-down roller coaster that used to be a stand-up one, and now we are standing very high up on top of it. I'm going to talk to you all about the experience today, show you a lot of the footage that I managed to capture whilst I was up there, and even tell you how you can do this yourself in the future. So make sure you watch till the end and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, because there is plenty of exciting content coming up over the next few months and you do not want to miss it. With all that said and done, let's take you through a little bit of the history of the Wave. The Wave originally opened as Shockwave back in 1994, and as familiar as the track design looks to a certain manufacturer we all know and love, it was actually manufactured by Intamin. Would you believe it? The ride features 4 inversions amongst its 1,640 feet of track, a vertical loop, 0 G-roll, and 2... That was the wrong ride. And like I've said already, it used to be a stand-up roller coaster, which meant it was one heck of an experience, especially in the UK, and one heck of a painful one at times as well. But in 2023, they closed the ride and refurbished it into the Wave for 2024, a sit-down surfing themed roller coaster. Although I thought you surfed standing up. They missed a trick there, and ever since it opened, the Wave has been running well ever since. It is a very good ride even still, but I've completely missed the most important part, because without this, it literally wouldn't make it anywhere around the layout. That first straight piece of track down that little drop and into the lift hill, which you trundle up at a little bit of speed so you don't get too much time to appreciate what's around you whilst up there, which is why it was so cool that Drayton Manor actually gave me and 3 competition winners the chance to be the first public guests to actually walk all the way up that 120-foot lift hill and go and appreciate all the views and surroundings up there. And I can't lie, I was going into it thinking it was going to be a really cool experience anyway, but the view off the top of the lift is so much better than I thought, but also a lot taller and scarier than I thought. The tour began at the front of the ride, where we met our 2 amazing tour guides who have worked on the ride themselves and know exactly what's going on everywhere within the ride. And we headed up to a room that had loads of different cabinets within it, where it may just look like, I don't know, filing cabinets or some lockers. Oh, I'm going to put my bag away. Nope, behind those cabinets is what powers the entirety of the Wave, and even the river rapids next door as well. Knowing that the ride runs off of all of that, we then headed round to the entrance. They told us a bit of history about the ride. We learned that the old Shockwave name never really had a theme, which I didn't really think about before, but it really didn't, which is why they missed a trick not making it surfing originally. And then we headed up into the queue line, which there's actually a very interesting bit of the queue where one of the walls in the queue line you'll see has a door on it. And that actually leads you to a photo booth that used to actually open towards the exit of the ride. That's why when you exit down the stairs and stuff, there's massive open areas that used to actually have a photo booth. That is now where they store a lot of their sort of harnesses and everything to do with the lift climbs or evacuations, all that safety stuff. So we of course then put our harnesses on, because why on earth would you go up without a harness? Because you could literally just go whee! But before we locked onto the lift, we went into the station and got a closer look at the train, which of course you get that closer look anyway when you ride it, so that's not too impressive. But more interestingly, you do get to see inside the maintenance bay, which I don't think many people have actually seen before, and it looks a lot different in person to what I thought it would. So get yourself on that lift climb, because I couldn't take photos of the maintenance bay or inside the operator panel up in the station. In the corner, we got to go in there and see all the buttons, and the actual computer it's on now is very, very unique. Obviously, I am sad that I can't show you any footage of that, but that's sort of why you should go and do this yourself, because it's a cool experience. And you get to see all that. So I enjoyed that thoroughly. And then, like I said, we all locked onto the lift hill with our carabiners, are they called? I don't even know. Almost just called it the Caribbean then. And once you're attached to that lift hill, of course, there isn't actually the lift hill straight away, because you have to walk down a long straight piece of track, which is actually the switch track that goes over to the maintenance bay. So we had to walk all the way down that, and you could see the maintenance bay where that track would sort of move along and move across to get the train in there. And yeah, it was quite a nice experience experience, just, you know, having this little straight walk before looking all the way up at the lift hill, thinking, oh my god, we've got to go up all those steps. But there's really not that many steps. I believe, if I remember correctly, there's actually less than 200 steps going up that lift hill, which is surprising because I thought it'd be like 400. Although technically it is 400 because there's a catwalk either side of the train. Whatever. But off of that straight piece of track, the left-hand side view is so cool, and you don't often get to look a full 180 round because otherwise your neck might hurt. But looking behind you and seeing the station with obviously Maelstrom and the whole of Adventure Cove in the distance, it does look really nice, and it's just nice to sort of stand there and appreciate it, which we really got to do on this tour. Because I've heard some lift climbs and stuff, they sort of just go, yeah, no, we need to keep walking, oh, we'll get to the top, oh, no, we're going back down straight away. No photos and videos, rules like that. But Drayton Manor do literally allow you whenever you stop to take photos and videos, and I thought that was a very good thing they made sure you could stop and do. So then came the climb up the lift hill, and it's a lot less shaky than one I've done before. So if you're worried about it being like the Revolution station in Blackpool where you're walking up the stairs and it's going, it is nothing like that because it is solid, like it doesn't move at all. You climb up holding the handrail and of course moving your carabiner along with you, which is a lot easier than a previous lift climb I've done as well. And again, you can just start to look around you as you go up, obviously watching your feet in case you slip. You can just look out behind you and see the entire view of the entire park, and it's probably one of my favourite views that I've seen in a UK theme park because, like I said again, as much as you do go on the ride and you can flip your head round, you don't get to appreciate it as much as you do when you are just standing up there. And obviously you keep going up and up and up. The loop next to you looks huge, and eventually you end up taller than it and at the top of the tallest ride at the park, other than when Apocalypse was here, rest in peace. But once again, that view from the top of the lift hill, just looking out, of course you don't get to go right to the end of the lift because that would be very scary, but just seeing the entire view above the trees now as well, so you can look out into the distance and you can see various like countryside, and I think you could also see Birmingham to an extent. You could look out over to Tamworth as well, and of course the whole park, like I said, it's just the view gets better as you go up to the top. Not when you look down though, because as much as this is a catchphrase from another ride that we all know and love, if you are scared of heights and you've gone up the lift hill, I think you'll be perfectly fine. Just make sure you don't look down. Because the sense of height and scale when you look down beneath the actual walkway is kind of terrifying, and I'm not scared of heights, so but yeah, just looking around you and stuff, it is an incredible experience, and I would love to do more. So if you want to see another lift walk or behind the scenes like this, then leave a like, 1,000 likes and I'll do another one. But you're up there for a good amount of time, able to take photos, and you're getting lots of facts and sort of shown what's around you, and various other things are pointed out. You can see Gold Rush all the way in the distance, you can see the hotel, you can see the whole of Thomasland. It is an incredible view, and once you've taken your photos and you've had some time to appreciate it, you head back down the lift hill. And this was probably my least favourite part, because the way the steps are, obviously they've got holes in them because it's a catwalk and that's just how metal is made for them. But when you're walking back down, you of course have to watch your steps, so you are looking down. As I've got pretty big feet, because I am 700 feet tall, I was minding my step as I went, and down the lift hill we got in, I don't know how long it took, but it felt like not too long, especially compared to the first one I did, so I don't know if there's more steps on that one, or if I'm now a veteran. But we headed back down and went back into the station, had another quick look around, and then went down the exit, got showed some Easter eggs which I've never actually noticed, and exited out back to the front of the ride. And that was it. We had climbed the wave. And you can too! Because every Saturday, Drayton Manor are going to be hosting lift climbs where you get to see exactly what I showed you today, and even more, including inside that maintenance shed, the operator cabin, get told so many different facts that I didn't even tell you, and shown many different Easter eggs as well. All of that across the ride before you head up that lift hill. And like I said, the views up there are definitely something to behold, and way better than I expected. So go and check out the Drayton Manor website, linked in the description, to find out more. And once again, a massive shout out to the competition winners and our tour guides, and of course a huge thank you to Drayton Manor for allowing me to do this and run this competition. More competitions to come in the future, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when they drop. And if you want to see how it differed to climbing another roller coaster that I recently climbed, go and check out this video of me climbing Colossus at Thorpe Park. Yep, go and check that out. It's another lift climb. Slightly smaller, this one. Just as unique. Go and watch it.